Howdy folks, it's Ultra here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're starting this video part 5 in the air. If you have no idea what's going on, make sure you watch part 1, 15-minute introduction there, that I won't repeat myself. So let's just jump into this. The reason why I'm showing you a flight in the air is because off camera I have flown 100 hours without stopping. There's 95 right now. I just want to get this introduction recorded and then I will show you 100 hours. We're actually going to stop at 99 because I don't want to know what happens if that gets a third digit. I assume it will go back to 0, but I don't want the sim to crash because I can't do the math and divide by 0. So 100 hours. And how did I get this to work and have good frame rates and not bog down the sim? Well, I made it pretty simple. Let me pull up a map and I'll show you what we did. We started in South Korea, flew towards Hawaii, flew towards French Polynesia, I believe it was, and then came down around in New Zealand, Australia, and Antarctica. However, if you look at the GPS now, when we got to Antarctica, we got to about here, and the plane just started doing circles and like figure eights and just kind of wouldn't go anywhere. And I was using the heading bug with autopilot. No matter where you put the heading bug, it would not follow the heading bug. It just went in circles. My heading bug would spin around, my HSI or compass would spin around, and I couldn't get anywhere. I was stuck. I was literally stuck right here. So what I did is I put a direct to an airport in the GPS, switched over to nav, and now it's been following this line for about 3 hours or so to get out of this, like, I don't know what you would have called this, but I know some of Antarctica was part of the world updates. I don't know why I couldn't fly down here. It just was spinning in circles. It was really strange. So now, to save the plane from crashing into anything, I have a direct here. We're not going to fly 10 more hours. I just needed a way out. And I'm also flying to 13,000 feet, just because I wanted to see how high I could go. And lastly, I have clear skies, so that the sim didn't have to calculate any weather. It didn't have to render anything. And I think that's why I was able to go this long and not get all messed up like the previous couple flights we tried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this fly to like 99 hours or so, jump back in with an edit, and then we will quit this flight and we'll start our next main flight. That's going to be part of this video. And this 100 hours should bring us just shy of 800 hours in the sim. I think it'll be like 786 or something like that by the time this is all said and done. 175 just on this aircraft. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I rehearsed my introduction and probably forgot something. I talked about no weather, no land. I showed you the map. I told you about the craziness down here. Yeah, I think that was it. And there we go, as close as to 100 hours as I want to get. 100 hours in a single flight. That's pretty crazy. So let's wrap this up and then we'll begin the flight that this video is supposed to be about. But first, let's check out our total hours. I think we're like 784 maybe. Let's check it out. Oh, more than I thought. 816. So there we go. We are climbing up there, up to 1,000 hours. Let's set up the flight now of what this video is supposed to be about and get another 60, 70 hours in maybe. That'd be kind of cool. All right, and this is the flight I was planning already. So what we're doing is we're in the Cessna Citation Longitude with this retro looking livery, and frame rates are smooth for now. We'll see what happens once we get rolling. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly over the South Pole, at least try to get over the South Pole as close as we can. So if I pull up the map of what we're doing, we're starting at Sierra Charlie Golf Zulu, southernmost, well, almost the southernmost tip of South America. We're going to fly across the North Pole just to a waypoint, which is actually a teeny tiny island airport on the other side of the world. We'll see what happens when we get close to the South Pole. We obviously can't just set the heading bug to south and follow the heading bug, because when you get south, there's no more south, it's all north. So we're using GPS to see if this works. So we're going to go up to 45,000 feet, because then I can keep the throttle wide open and we won't overspeed. Flight director, vertical speed, we're going to climb 2,500 feet per minute. Nav, now that we have a nav in there. And we'll do autopilot once we're in the air. So simple as that. This is zoomed out all the way. We'll see what happens. Again, this isn't perfectly over the South Pole, but it's as close as I could get it. I was choosing between two different waypoints to use, and one was one side of the South Pole, this is the other, but this is much closer than my other option. So there you go. Otherwise, everything is set. Let's come down here and start the timer right now since we're on the runway. And I'm hoping this flight, well, first of all, we're going to see if we get past the South Pole, and then we'll see how long I can fly this thing. I am going to take parking brake off and hold the brake because this runway isn't that long. Okay, the brakes won't hold the airplane. Okay, fine. It was rolling through the brakes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have to get through the South Pole first, right? If we get past the South Pole, then we're just going to fly around the world laterally. In other words, west to east or east to west. Brakes to stop the wheels, gear coming up, flaps coming up, and trim is all wacky doodle here. What trim do they give me? Let's do autopilot right now, because this is wonky town. There we go, that'll slow down our ascent. Roller weather is turned on, and we're just going to let it fly the GPS. And today, oh boy, we're going to make that. I don't think we're going to make that mountain. Oh dear. Autopilot, pull up, terrain, pull up. So we are hand flying. We will hand fly out of here apparently, because we are climbing at 5,000 feet per minute just to avoid everything. Frame rates are perfectly smooth in this area anyway, which is good to know, because in other areas in this plane we were, not this plane, it was SR-22 I think. It was completely rural and frame rates went nuts, but that was after 60 hours, so I'm going to stop talking about that. Anyway, we're going to hand fly out of here, and then once we're, well, now we're clear of terrain, see, it's all black. Okay, here we go. Now let's hit autopilot. There we go. We can also climb more steeply, I think. 3,200, that's good. We're just going to keep climbing high. Auto throttle, we can use auto throttle. Why not? That'll keep us at 250. Not that I care for this project. Beautiful. So, we're just going to fly over the South Pole. Once we fly over the South Pole, like I said, and we get to that other waypoint, then we're just going to go around, if we make it, beyond the South Pole, and don't have the problem that we had at the North Pole, we'll just go like east to west or west to east. Actually, I'll probably head east, so east to west around the globe, till I hit like my 60 hours or so, if I can. That being said, I'll like to do a little bit more, because of the timing in real life. I'll be stepping away from my computer for more than a full day. It'd be kind of cool if we could get like 80 hours on this trip with this plane. Otherwise, just flying over South Pole, that's not going to be 21 hours to get to our, yeah, see how fast it's going down, plus we're not level yet. I was going to say, it's only be like 9 hours to get to our waypoint, whatever. Anything we need to do, anything we need to talk about? This is our 5th video doing this project, so we don't need to talk about too much. I'm just curious what the performance is going to be, because we have struggled a few times. Come on, drone. We have struggled a few times with real weather, even if it was rural. So I'm curious what's going to happen. Anyway, that's a beautiful shot. That needs to maybe be my thumbnail, perhaps. It's hard to get a thumbnail with this long of a plane. Come on, you hear my keyboard clicking, sorry. Anyway, so this is the southernmost tip, mostly, of South America. Heading towards the South Pole, which we should see Antarctica very soon. Oh, that's a cool shot, too. You should see Antarctica very, very soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking already. I'm going to manage our climb to 45,000 feet. And then once we get to Antarctica, we should see snow because roll weather's turned on. And we'll talk a little bit more. I don't even think I'm going to do any sightseeing in between. Maybe I will. I don't know. See you in a moment. And just like that, we have reached the Antarctic Peninsula. That's this huge arm that everyone recognizes before we go over the sea. And then over mainland, and then the South Pole should be like right there. If it really lets us do the South Pole, which we'll find out. So this took an hour. So that'd be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So around the 6-hour mark, 7-hour mark, you should see the South Pole, if it's going to work. So let's just look around and enjoy the views while we're reaching the arm here. I can't remember the elevation. It's like 13. The average is 8,000 feet of Antarctica, but elevation can up to like 13,000 or something. 14,000? I can't remember. So there's the arm there, but it looks absolutely enormous out the window because it is enormous. There you can see the sea where we're headed. South Pole is in that direction. The arm just kind of goes around and then the mainland. So super cloudy and terrain, and my performance is amazing. So I don't know what happened the other day, but so far so good. This makes me believe it's the servers having problems. Alrighty, looks amazing. I wish it would render more sharply. So this is water here with ice over it. That's not land. See, and then just breaks free into ocean. See, this is all water here with ice. Is that amazing? Just amazing. It looks big because it is. Let me zoom in. So more realistic. See, there's all water, but there you go, there's the land right there. It's just when I have the map zoomed all the way out, it looks small, but it's not. It's huge. That's what she said. And we're headed towards the South Pole. South Pole. I'm thinking North Pole because Christmas in real life is in like 2 weeks. Ooh, look at that storm right there. Is that a storm? Let's turn on next rat. I can't remember doing next rat on this. Oh, it's just weather on this one. Yep. Yeah, okay, that is a storm right there. That's awesome. Okie dokie. Zoom back out all the way, I think. Yes, we are. Alright, simple enough. I just want to give you a quick Antarctic Peninsula update. And then we'll be into the North Pole shortly. A little bit of sightseeing when I see cool things. I see North Pole again. And in like 6 hours when we get to the South Pole, we'll see if it works. If it does work, we'll just keep going. I'm not going to the North Pole though, because we'll crash. But we'll just keep going. If South Pole doesn't work, I'll restart the flight, and like I said, we'll just go longitudinally, whatever. That's north to south, latitude. I don't know, whatever. Look at that big storm out there. Anyway, enjoy some sightseeing. I'll see you at the South Pole if it works. Alright, I'm just jumping in here because I made an important change. So going to the original waypoint I was going to go to, when I changed my map orientation to heading up, and it actually is going to keep us along this edge of Antarctica. And when I looked at Google Earth, that was nowhere near the South Pole. So let me bring up Google Earth for you actually. And if we look, so going to my waypoint up here was going to bring us across up here, like way up here above the South Pole. And I went to see, look at. So what I did is I put Perth back in, which is right here, I think. Yeah, it's right here. That's not Perth, it's right here. And so now it should bring us closer to the South Pole. That was my original plan, but for some reason when I did some math, I thought it was going to be way, I guess this would be west of the north of the South Pole. But now that we have it in the sim, that's going to bring us much closer to the South Pole than our other options. So I made the change, and then when I use this heading, instead of going along here now, it's going to actually have us go across the South Pole, like literally dead center over the South Pole, and we'll see what happens. What I'm trying to do right now is, in the other GPS, like the Garmin 1000, you can change this screen to give you your coordinates. And obviously when we're 90 degrees south and 0 east to west, that's the South Pole, right? Because 90, so 0 is the equator, 90 up is North Pole, 90 down is South Pole. Minnesota, where I live, happens to be 45 up, dead center. And then east to west goes around 180, right? And Minnesota happens to be 90 Western Hemisphere. So we're in the dead center of the Western Hemisphere. That's why it's called the Midwest, by the way. So 90 down and 0 would be the South Pole. But I cannot figure out how to get coordinates on this GPS. Because on the 1000, you just switch your screen down here and you get coordinates across the top right here. I don't know how to get coordinates. I'm trying to figure it out, because then when we get to 90 and 0, then we know we're at the South Pole. So we're either just going to have to guess, or if I can figure out coordinates, I'll jump back in. But we're hauling pretty good. I think 43 knots is like 517 miles per hour or something. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen, but we're cruising right along. So I don't have much time to figure out exactly where the South Pole is. We'll either find out from guessing or because the sim will crash. Don't know. But it's beautiful. All the snow, yeah, snow, I guess, and the storms right underneath us. So I'm gonna try to figure out coordinates, and I'll jump back either with the South Pole as a guess, or a crashed sim, or something interesting, or maybe some views out the window. I don't know. I'm gonna scramble though, because we don't have much time to figure this out. We're only nearly 4 hours in, but I want to bring it back in for a minute here. We are deep into Antarctica. Let's have a look outside. It's kind of a cool view. So we're deep into Antarctica. Clear skies. I know there are weather stations down here, so I assume this is legit real weather, even down here. It looks like we're surrounded by water in every direction. I know we're 45,000 feet up. I really don't think we can see water all the way around Antarctica from 45,000 feet. I think you'd have to be like 400,000 feet to see all of Antarctica. But the way it's rendering, I mean, it shows land here and then water. That's real. That's legit. That's legit over there. That's probably legit there. Maybe there too. But this middle section, there's no way we would see the other side. So, I mean, I guess it's mostly legit, but any of this stuff that might look like water up there, it's not going to be water. But anyway, there you go, snow. We're high enough that I can't make out any details or anything. Average of 8,000 feet above sea level below us, though. And anyway, LOI, loss of integrity, means it knows where it's going and everything, but it can't promise you that it's very accurate, so you should prepare other means of navigation. And then if you lose it completely, it goes to DR for dead reckoning. So that means navigation is all up to you. The GPS zoomed in here seems okay. When we get to about here near the apex of this loop, that would be the South Pole. So we'll see if we're going to make it or not. If you zoom it out though, it gets really funky monkey. Like, I put in some waypoints of Australia, Perth, and then East Australia, and then over to South America, which is Isran, but it does it like this back and forth, like it doesn't really know where it is yet. And then if you zoom out, it gets even funkier. So look at that, see? So I just keep it zoomed in to here, whoops, this one, and then it'll reset itself and go funky. And then look, it's trying to draw South America, Russia, United States. It's trying to draw everything. So anyway, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully we get to this apex. That will be my next time I talk, unless something weird happens before it. So we'll just see. We'll just keep going and see what happens. So let's have a little bit of sightseeing, and then I'll see you hopefully at what should be the South Pole, if it renders in and lets us do it. Alright, we're only 4.5 hours in, which isn't very far out of 60, but I want to bring it back in because weather came in, all these thick clouds and everything, beautiful, and my frame rates went to like 2 frames per second, so I turned all my settings down, still got 2 frames per second, brought everything back up to ultra, and now it's smooth. It's like 48 frames per second or something. So I don't understand that, like, why it's smoother when I change my settings down and back up. It makes no sense. Anyway, whatever. The reason I'm pointing this out is we're pretty much about where the South Pole is already. It's supposed to be like an 8 hours to get there, but we're going so fast apparently that it only took like 4.5 apparently, I guess. So let's zoom out a second and see how crazy kittywampus this is. Okay, it's getting better. It realizes Australia is here now, but this is still supposed to go here, here, and then curve, so it's getting better. We haven't reached dead reckoning, so we still have GPS. I mean, this is pretty close to the South Pole. This is the closest we're gonna get. So I think we've arrived at the South Pole. So let's hop outside and whoop, where's the airplane? Oh yeah, it's because my up and down control. Come on, why are my controls stuck here? And why is my rudder thing getting all weird? It's not really stuck up, is it? It's just the camera? I don't know. Anyway, we'll fight with the rudders here. So the South Pole is going to be right over there in that big mess of clouds. Like, you know, around here somewhere. Remember, we're up 45,000 feet, so if the South Pole is many, many miles away, it's still going to be like, you know, right over here because we're so high. So then if we look this way, why is our airplane getting farther and farther away from us? My rudder thing is being weird. Hope it's not going to be like that on the ground. Anyway, there's water there. Now, there's water here too. I know you can't see it, but when I turned my settings all the way down, I got rid of this whole layer of clouds. I could see water here. So, again, you might be like, well, we have to be further into Antarctica than that. But remember, we're up 45,000 feet. So see this water along the edge here? Not this, I don't think. That's just lack of clouds, but there's water along the edge. So if you think we're 45,000 feet up, we're heading in this direction, right? So there you go. Australia is ahead of us. South Pole is right there, and I can't believe we got here this quickly, but I guess, I mean, it makes sense. We're hauling. So anyway, we're gonna keep going here, and then Australia should get its waypoint. You know, Perth is up here. Perth is not there, but it'll figure it out once you get further along, and then off to wherever. So next stage then for us is if anything interesting shows up, or once this gets fixed, or once we get full GPS, or if it moves to dead reckoning. Anyway, basically, whenever something interesting happens, I'll come back in, and hopefully it won't be till like 12, 24 hours, something more substantial than 4.5, which in its own flight is a long flight, but we're aiming for 60 plus on this flight, so we'll have to see. Also, once we do get to Perth accurately, I'll start adding more waypoints to get us around the world, from west to east, as I already said. Okay, enjoy some views, and I'll see you when there's something to talk about. Alright, the next big thing is happening, and I'm not talking about few clouds over vast white snow and ice, although it's beautiful to see from 45,000 feet. But our compass is finally turning towards the east. So if you think about it, if you draw a picture, if you think of the globe, right? Well, let me just bring up the globe. So here's Google Earth, right? And so we started here, heading southeast-ish, south-southeast. But when you come around the pole, now we're going to be heading northeast, right? To get to, or like north-northeast. So from south-southeast to north-northeast to get to Perth. So as we come around the pole, our compass then is going to be going from south-southeast. And it's going to slowly come back to the north-northeast as we get around the pole. So this started in the 150s. And then it spent some time like 144, I noticed 143, and then about an hour later we're at 138. So, yeah, as time goes on here, the compass should be slowly going towards the east, and then the northeast, and then the north-northeast. But it's a slow process, right? I mean, it's a big chunk of land, Antarctica. It's not like, like you're going around a marble per se, but there you go. You can see now that the GPS is finally fixed. It fixed itself. Zoom out all the way. Boom. It still says we're heading southeast though. Isn't that interesting? Even though we're clearly beyond the pole. But anyway, we'll be heading north-northeast to get to Perth. And then we'll see if the rest of my waypoints are correct so I can leave the sim running. I just have to have a far enough waypoint that if I leave for a while, it'll still run, especially because this weekend there'll be a day and a half or so where it won't even be at the sim. So you got to make sure there's enough flight time to make up for that. So anyway, there you go. Still on LOI though. Still haven't gotten full coverage of the GPS, but it's been working. And this should be turning towards the north as we get around the pole. So there you go. Quick update. Still only 5.5 hours in though. Long way to go. Well, I was all excited to give a 24-hour update, and just as I was about to start recording, the timer reset, so I did other things, and now I'm back. So apparently this timer in this plane only goes to 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, and then it starts over. So I'm going to have to keep track of how many 24-hour sections this does and add them together for updates. But anyway, 24-hour update, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, in the middle of the night. We left, well, that's cool looking. We left Australia to our west, and we have Peru to our east. And so far so good. Look at the Milky Way there. I told you the story how I saw the Milky Way with my naked eyes once, something I'd always wanted to do. And we were in the middle of nowhere, Iowa at 3 a.m. My kid woke up with a night terror. We're driving from Denver to Minneapolis without stopping. Crazy, huh? My kid woke up, pulled over on a ramp, middle of Iowa, ran out to get to his side of the minivan, looked up, saw the Milky Way with no light pollution. It looked not exactly like the photos with the filters, but it looked almost exactly like the photos with the filters that you can Google online. It was amazing and worth it. But anyway, so the plan is just to keep chugging along. Oh yeah, GPS still lost integrity, which I'm sure is just a bug and never picked it up, but we're following GPS perfectly fine, so I'm not worried about it. 6 hours to Peru. Anyway, the plan is just to keep chugging along here, doing lateral east to west bands around the world. We'll see how many times we get around the world before I end this flight. We are going to go, well, close to 100 hours for this flight, because this weekend coming up, I'm not going to be on my computer well, I'll be able to walk by a couple times and check on things, but I won't be able to sit at the computer and like end a flight and start one until Monday evening. That's like 4 or 5 days away. So we're going to get quite a few hours on this flight, which will be fantastic. The plan then, I want to keep adding GPS waypoints. In the smaller, slower planes, I just set the heading bug, set it and forget it, right? Because it takes 20, 30 hours to go down the oceans. I don't have to worry about it. But going this fast, 550-ish miles per hour or so, we cover a lot of ground very quickly. So if you think about it, I think it was 12 hours from Australia to Peru. That's a good chunk of the Earth. So in 24 hours, 30 hours, I can almost get all the way around. So if I step away for a day and run out of GPS, it's going to fly wherever it wants. And I do not want another North Pole situation. So I have to keep adding waypoints. So what have I done so far? After Peru, which is Isren, if I go to Sky Vector and type in Love Do, where's that? Oh, that's, no wait, what? Hang on a second. Love Do is Peru. What is then? Hang on. Isren is, oh, why am I doing that? What? I'm going from Peru to Ecuador. Or Peru to Colombia even. Okay. Not sure why I did that, but okay, we're going from Peru to Colombia apparently. I must have just screwed that up. And then I believe Glurb is Africa. I'm just Googling, I'm just putting this in Sky Vector as I go. Yeah, then we're going to Africa. Where in Africa do you ask? Where was that? Liberia. And then I believe we're crossing Africa. Yeah, Hader, I believe, is the other side of Africa. And it is, Hader is Somalia. And then we're going to try to go up to the Himalayas a little bit, I think, over Nepal. And then just try to kind of go across China, back down to like the Philippines or Hawaii. And then I just want to go around like the equator a couple times. That's my plan. I'm going to put those in off screen. I'm not going to bore you with that. I enjoy doing that, but it's time consuming. So that's the plan. That's a 24-hour update. Will there be a 48-hour update? I don't know. Just depends on when I'm at my computer. I should be able to sneak in and get sightseeing here and there, but I'm not going to sit down and do an update for a while. So I don't know what you're going to see next, like every other segment of these videos of the series, but by the time this video is over, I'm hoping to be over 900 hours in. So maybe only one more video after this, maybe two. We'll see. But it's working. My project is working. Onward 2,000 hours. So enjoy the sightseeing or updates or whatever I throw at you next, and I'll see you after a quick edit. Alright, it is time for the 48-hour update, or in this case, 49.5-hour update. Still have lots of integrity, but I'm just ignoring that. We're struggling a little bit with performance, and as you can see, there's no reason to struggle. It's just satellite imagery below us, and no weather to worry about or render. There's like one cloud back there. But that's it. So, I don't know why it's struggling. Probably because it's been running this airplane for almost 50 hours. No idea, but we just entered India and we're an hour and a half away from Lukla, which is Mount Everest. Although looking at the sun, if it lets me get to the sun, oh my goodness, what is going on? We might have daylight at Mount Everest, but otherwise you can see the ocean back here, so that's pretty cool. Otherwise I just want to give you a quick update. Not much to say other than the performance is, well, it's inconsistently struggling. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to render on the ground from up here, and there's hardly any weather, if any weather, to render. So I don't know, I think it's just because it's been running for 49 hours or something. Because earlier on in the sightseeing, you would have noticed that we had extreme cloud cover, extreme storms, and over major areas, and we had no performance issues at all. So I think it's just that the sim has been running. But while we're here, check this out. Look at the line of the mountains, right? So it's all flat-ish, I guess, coming off the ocean, and then you see this line right in the middle of your screen where the mountains just decide to begin. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That is amazing. It's amazing what you can see from 45,000 feet. And the rivers? Look at that. I'm glad I jumped in when I did here. This is amazing. But anyway, you can see how we're getting into the Himalayas, right? Towards Mount Everest. It's getting pretty obvious from up here. We're going to be 10,000 feet above Everest or so. So, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like from this high. We've never flown over it this high before. So anyway, there is your quick little update. I'm just going to let it be. I don't want to disturb it more than I already am. So I'll come back in with sightseeing when we get to Everest. If the sims... Oh, see, now it's working just fine. See? Look at... See? Now it's perfect. Nothing changed. And now it's just fine. So I don't know what goes on with the performance of this thing. Other than I'm going to keep insisting it's not my rig. We all know that by now. So anyway... I'm going to quick do a few things around the house, and then hopefully I do have a timer set so I don't miss Everest. I just hope the sun is still in the sky. But we might have a beautiful sunset over Everest. Never know. Stay tuned. We'll find out in a second. Alright, here's your quick 72-hour update, about to be a 73-hour update, and it's dark. Oh, no sunrise. We're about to have a sunrise. That's pretty cool. But where are we? We are... Well, we just left North America, Canada. We're headed over to Spain. And then after Spain... Where are we going after Spain? I can't remember. I think we're going to Saudi Arabia. Let me check super fast. Yeah, we're going to Saudi Arabia. And then we're going to the Philippines and then over to Tahiti. And we'll see if that's enough distance until I can get back and end this video. After this quick update, I'm not going to get back to this for like the next day or two. So performance is going great. I've been trying to stop by my computer and give you sightseeing as I can, but I haven't shown you much. What did I show you? I think I showed you Mount Everest. And then... some sunset stuff, daylight stuff. Oh, I showed you the Amazon rainforest and Amazon River. I have notes here. And then, yeah, some mountains before Everest. I guess I'm saying this in reverse order. And then after Everest, I don't think I've given you anything. So we flew from Mount Everest in Nepal all the way across the ocean and everything, all the way across the U.S. and haven't shown you anything, except for maybe I do have a quick sightsee segment somewhere by Hawaii. Other than that, I haven't been at my computer. I told you in the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be on my computer for most of this entire flight, so I'm just showing you what I can. Still says loss of integrity, but that's just a bug by now, because obviously we'd be fine. About to have sunrise. We're going to go to Spain, and then from Spain we're going to wrap around the world. I believe this is our third, let me think. I believe this is our third time around the globe. Now the first time is kind of weird because we went over the South Pole, so I was like a mega shortcut, but this is still our third time around the world in 72 hours because of the South Pole thing. Otherwise, that's all I really have to say. Performance is great, because we're over the ocean and there's no weather. But it's able to hold up. I'm getting more and more confident in this simulator. I'm not sure why weather and terrain is causing the sim to bog down, though. Hopefully it's just bad servers during the time I record this, which was like a month and a half ago for you. Anything else I need to say? No, I don't. So I'm going to try. Am I going to be around for the sunrise? I have to take off, and I'm going to be gone pretty much the entire day. It's a weekend day, you can probably guess. I'll try to get some sight. I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, the next verbal update will probably be at around 100 hours when we end this part 5. That's still a whole 25 hours or something, though, of course, from now, for me. But it'll just be a blip of a second for you. So enjoy the sightseeing if I fit any in. Otherwise, I'll see you at 100 hours, and we'll wrap up this part 5, and we'll probably conclude this project in the next part, part 6. That's my plan. But we'll see. Stay tuned and find out. Well, we're about to reach 96 hours on this flight. I was going to wait until 100 hours, but our performance is crapping out. You could easily say, but Turtle, it's the weather. Look at the weather. No wonder why your performance is bad. But I've been keeping an eye on this before I started recording, and it'll be perfectly fine at over 60 frames per second for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then it does this. In fact, it's so bad I'm hitting numbers on the keyboards not responding. It'll act like this for like 10-15 minutes, and then we'll get 60 frames again for 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing's changing. It's just awesome frames, turbo frames. You could say, oh, it's a big storm down there, but you have to remember, before Sim Update 14, we could fly in any weather, any airplane, any location. Did not matter ever. We always got more than 60 frames per second. Period. No matter what scenario we were in. Ever since Sim Update 14, it's been crazy like this. Comes and goes. And it's not me, because I checked the forums. And everybody's having this problem. There are a very few people who said they're actually better off with Sim 14, Update 14. But the majority of the thousands of posts are people in my situation. And a lot of them have much, much better hardware than I do. And they'll say that they turn their settings way down and it doesn't matter, which is my experience. So I don't know what's going on, but it's really annoying because for 3 years now, I've not had to adjust anything in the sim, and we've never had problems. And ever since Sim Update 14, it's just been a disaster. That comes and goes. But I'm recording this in the middle of December, so maybe by the time you're watching this, which I believe is at the end of January, maybe it's been fixed, and my complaints are completely moot and doesn't mean anything. Hopefully that's the case. I know I've said that like 5 times in the past 2 videos, but it's really annoying, especially because for Christmas in a couple days, I'm getting some new hardware, like little gadgets for the sim, which are going to be super fun, but not fun if this happens. Again, I turned my settings all the way down. I don't know if it was the beginning of this video or previous video, because this video I've been recording for 100 hours. What's that, 4 or 5 days? I turned my settings all the way down to minimum, same problem. So, I don't know. Other people did that too, same problem. Still can't update the DLSS file in the sim because it doesn't show up in the updater for me. And other people have that same problem. People who have updated their DLSS, very few report things are better. Most people say nothing's changed. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit and accept it for now until either fixes are published or something. I'm not gonna sit and spend hours and days tweaking sim settings when I already tried overall and nothing worked. I'll keep an eye on the forums, but if I were to do no weather, it would probably be fine. So the weather might have something to do with it. But again, we have flown in all weather, in any terrain, any city, any airplane. Doesn't matter. It's been fine for 3 years until now. So anyway, I can't even reset my view. It's just, there we go. Anyway, so that is our end of this video, part 5. That puts us at about 916 hours or so. So we've got, what is that? 916,000 taken away from that. 1680, that 84 hours. Yeah, I think 84 hours left. So I'm going to make that all into one more video. So I might do some flying off camera, or I might just condense 82 hours, 84 hours, whatever it was, into one video. But there you go. That's rough. See, now it's fine for seconds. Look at this. Look at perfect. Look at perfect frame rates. I don't know what that looks like on YouTube. Look at this. Perfect. Oh, now it's bad. Nope, now it's good. What's it like out here? It's kind of crappy out here when I extend the view, but inside it was fine. Oh, that was good. Look, that was perfect. See? What, 45 seconds ago, it took a minute to reset my view, and now it's fine. See, look. See, now it's fine. And nothing changed. Same weather, same everything. So that's what I'm dealing with. Isn't that weird? I don't know what to say. So, subscribe so you know when the final video of this project releases. Hit the notification. So I guess that's the same thing, pretty much. Hit the like button so people know we are existing. And, I'll figure out my plan for the final video, and then I'll start recording, and I'll see you then.